Okay, I decided to put together a new segment to play around with, and we'll do it quickly this time around. It's going to be the fair or unfair segment. So I'm going to give you 4 topics really quick, Jimmy, and I want you to tell me, is it a fair assessment or is it an unfair assessment? And I'm going to let you give the reason why.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
I'm going to fire it up right now. So, the Philadelphia segment, is it fair or unfair? The Philadelphia 76ers are turning a corner and can make it to the NBA Finals.
Unfair. Yes, they are turning a corner, but I don't think that they are better than the Celtics. I don't think that they can beat the Nets. And if the Heat ever got right, I don't think that they could beat the Heat either. So, yes, you're turning the corner, but it's still into a dead end because you're not going to make it.
Okay. I think it's fair because of the work they put in the Celtics in back-to-back games, and they're the number 1 team in the East right now. Mm-hmm. I think that it's fair to look at them as a team that can make it to the finals because it looks like Doc Rivers is actually showing me up. He's doing a really good job on this team. I don't know what it looks like long-term, but it is the first quarter of the season, which I'm going to talk more about on my solo, my quarter 1 awards. But I think it is fair. All right, next up. The Miami Heat will miss the playoffs. Is that fair or unfair?
That's fair, only because this is a shortened season, again, affected by COVID-19. I don't think that they're going to be able to dig themselves out of this, which I hate. Well, okay, go back. You said make the playoffs? Mm-hmm. Yes, but as an 8th seed.
So you think it's unfair to say that they will miss the playoffs?
It's unfair because they're barely going to make it in, but they're going to get bounced early.
Okay. I think that it is unfair as well. I think that they can make the playoffs once people start getting back healthy. The biggest problem, I think, with Miami is that they're the one team that's dealing with the fatigue of playing in the NBA Finals and in the quick turnaround. Mm-hmm. They're probably that team because they're one of the hustlers. And Jimmy Butler did so much, you can see that it's starting to affect him. So
right.
I believe that they can turn this around. So I think it's unfair to say it this early.
Okay.
All right. Fair or unfair that Boston would beat Philadelphia in a 7-game series.
Fair. They beat them in 6. They beat them in 6. Fair. And primarily because, again, just like we said, Jaylen Brown just keeps getting – Tatum is – I mean, he's where he was last year as far as establishing himself as an all-star and a superstar. But Jaylen Brown, and I love seeing this. This is exactly what I wanted to see. He's matching him. He's matching him this season. I mean, they are a veritable, two-man machine. Jaylen Brown, that's the reason why.
I think it's unfair. I think it's too early to even say. Like I said, Philly beat Boston 2 games in a row. And if I'm correct, was that in Boston?
Probably.
I lost it. I think it's unfair to even believe that anybody can beat anybody in a series the way that teams are playing. Yeah, they were playing at home. So, no, I think it's unfair to crown Boston as a team to eliminate Philadelphia right now. That could change later, but I think it's unfair to go this premature. All right, last one. The Nets with Kyrie. Is it fair or unfair that they will not turn the corner and go deep and make a deep playoff run?
When we say deep, are we talking about at least the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yes, minimum final. Oh, well, I actually say NBA Finals.
NBA Finals. Fair or unfair that they won't go to the finals? Mm-hmm. I think that is fair. I've got a theory on them, but I think that is fair.
Okay. I think that it is unfair. We still have a small sample size as we don't know what they're going to look like long term. Right. But what's this theory?
Okay, the theory is this. All right, so when you look at the most recent big threes, we'll say, over the last decade,
right?
You had the Boston Celtics, you had the Heat, LeBron's Heat, you had the Warriors, and you have the Spurs, which no one even really thought of them as a big three, but they had a big three as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely big three.
And what they all had in common was that they were tough. They were tough defensively. People always focused on their offense, but it was so much more of their defense that put their offense in position to do what they did, or to do what they did naturally. So you look at this Nets team as currently constructed. I don't see any toughness, and I don't see them instilling any defensive fear in anyone because they constantly are giving up 130 and 140 points. So, without toughness, without that fear factor, you can't compete for a championship. So my question to you is it fair to say that the Nets have no toughness and no defensive fear that they instill in teams right now?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely fair right now. I mean, as soon as they got James Harden, they went to the worst defensively rated team in the league, but they are the best offensively rated team. So if you got enough firepower, you won't. If you don't have enough firepower, you won't keep up with them. But as long as you got defense, you will hurt them. And I don't know what that looks like in a playoff sequence because right now as the season goes, no teams really play defense that hard. But once the playoffs kick in, because the refereeing is so much more tighter, they're more they're more disrespectful. They're allowing more disrespect, I guess you could say, on the defensive side. They allow you to push each other around for the most part, and that you get physical. That's a different animal. Playoffs are much different than it is regular season. So I can totally see them looking different once the playoffs hit, but Steve Nash has never really played on a team that played defense. So if you really think about it, where in there do they have someone that's going to instill that type of defense in them? So man, that's a tough one. I think it's I don't know if I can say I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it is fair though to say that they don't have enough toughness right now. They need a goon.
Yes.
They need to go find them a goon.
You need an Oakley. You need a Draymond.
Yes.
You need Udonis Haslem. You need somebody like that.
You need someone that's going to go in there and be physical for everybody. So